Hi there ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel, and in this video I'll be taking a first look at this Quanum Fatshark Genesis FPV Goggle. Now some of you might know that I initially didn't want to get this goggle for two reasons. The price, it's not the cheapest goggle around, neither is it the most expensive of course, but it's a clamshell foam goggle at around $200, so that's not the cheapest one available. And the second reason is I wear glasses, and you can't fit glasses in this goggle, so that's not very good. But as you can see, it's now in my studio. So what happened there? Well, I decided to get it for three reasons really. A friend of mine recently ordered a Dominator SE, the orange and black version from Fatshark. I tried that one, and that performed very well. It was very comfortable to fly with that goggle. And I suspect or think that this Quanum Genesis goggle, the electronics of it are all designed by Fatshark. So yeah, maybe it's at least a step above the Quanum V2s in quality, the screen and receiver and such. So that's a reason for me to at least try this Genesis goggle. The second reason is I asked around a little, and some people said it should be possible to rework the foam so you can fit a set of glasses in them permanently, or make an indentation in the foam so you can slot them in. So yeah, that opened up a possibility. And the third reason is there weren't a lot of videos on this goggle. One from a user, the rest is from Hobby King itself. So yeah, in that sense this video, or this series of videos, is mostly for you. So you can get an impression of these goggles from another perspective. And yeah, that's it. I obviously ordered it from the international warehouse. It's not available in the other warehouses yet. I do not know if the Hobby King has plans to ship it to the other warehouses. Maybe Hobby King can comment on that. Now this video is a first look. I've done 6 flights with it by now, so it's not a review. I want to have a few more flights, well, around 50 or 60 flights with the goggle to really make a review on it, and I hope to be able to do that in the coming weeks, weather permitting. And in this video I'll, like I said, I'll show you the goggle, and I'll give you my impressions on the build quality and what the screen looks like. And at the end of the video I'll also throw in some tips for Hobby King / Fatshark for maybe a second version. And yeah, this box has a carrying handle over here, and it's the same kind of box that came with the Cyclops goggle. So it's pretty easy to use this box as a storage / transport device to keep your goggle safe. That's nice, I appreciate that. Now let's have a look what's in this box. Alright, let's first have a look what comes with the goggle. You get 2 rubber ducky antenna. Yes, rubber ducky antennas. I'm okay with that. I mean, someone that buys a Genesis might already have the antennas that he or she likes, and the other way around, if they would include circular polarized antennas. If they include right hand polarized antennas, the customer might have wanted left hand and the other way around, and it keeps the price lower. Not low, but lower. So yeah, okay, and it comes with a LiPo to power the goggle, and it is a 1000 milliampere 2S LiPo. It does have a balance plug, but you can't seem, I don't think you can use it to charge it. It does come with this charging cable, so you can simply charge it with your hobby grade charger. And let's see, yeah, the LiPo has a charge indicator. As you can see here, it's 3/4 charged. Is it visible in the video? I'm not sure. But well, it has 4 charge indicator LEDs. Right, it comes with a cleaning cloth with a Fatshark logo in it. Appreciate it, that's nice. And it comes with a manual, which is perfectly understandable and in good English. Frequency table, yeah, I have no problem with this manual at all. Oh, as you can see, by the way, once you are changing channels and bands, the screen actually shows you what channel and band you are on. Convenient. And it also comes with a set of Fatshark decals. Very, very nice. I always appreciate getting decals with my products. Now, Hobby King, no Quanum decals or Hobby King decals. Yeah, you should include Quanum decals with it as well, I think. Alrighty, and there is the goggle itself. Now let's see, yeah, it is a foam shell kind of goggle, just like the V2 and the V2 Pro and the V1 before it from Quanum. It has a plastic top plate in yellow and some brackets over here in yellow and plastic. At the front you find a plastic cover with a Quanum logo. And as you can see, head straps, pretty wide head straps by the way, with a Fatshark logo. 2 to the sides of your head and 1 over the top of your head. Pretty comfortable, well, very comfortable actually. Like I said, I've flown 6 times with a goggle by now, so yeah, I can tell you that it is pretty comfortable. More comfortable than the V2? Yeah, I'd say so. In particular, this face plate, a bit hard to show you, all black. But this foam is well shaped and it works, at least works out well for me. And yeah, let's see, you've got a cable running over here to the back of the straps. Here is a pocket for the LiPo to power the goggle. And let's quickly go over all connections. On the left side of the top plate, you've got yourself a USB connector over here, which is only for firmware upgrades. You've got an HDMI in, which can be handy, of course, if you are using one of the new HD digital receiver systems, or even a DJI Phantom, which has a HDMI out. You can also use this port, by the way, to view videos. If your laptop maybe has an HDMI out, or your tablet, yeah, you can hook it up to your DVD player or setup box. And I can tell you that is very immersive. It's very nice to watch videos on this goggle. And let's see, yeah, you've got 2 buttons over here for your channel selection. Those just cycle through all channels or frequencies that the goggle can use, 32 frequencies. So there's no separate button for the bands and the channels. And over here you see a mouse navigation button, and that's to set the aspect ratio and the source, if you want to use the built-in receiver or an external receiver. And you can only use that in the first 10 seconds after powering it up. And that is done to prevent you from accidentally changing the source while flying, for instance. And you can also alter the brightness and contrast with that navigation knob. Alright, at the front of the goggle you've got 2 receiver antenna adapters. Those are SMAs, so without the pin in them. As you can see, it is a primary and a secondary receiver port. Yes, the goggle does have diversity. It is only antenna diversity. So there aren't two receivers in the goggle. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of flights with this goggle, so I won't comment on this as of yet. I just want to know if it performs well in real life. So I'll first do a couple, like 50 or 60 flights with it, and then I'll get back to you on the performance of this setup. And to the right over here you've got your power in, DC in, you've got an audio out, headphone jack, an AV out, so you can use this receiver, for instance, for a secondary goggle for spectators to view along, and you've got an audio video in, so you can also opt to use a different receiver for this system, an analog receiver. In that sense you have three types of options to receive your signal. Obviously the built-in receiver, this AV in, and the HDMI in. And at this point it would be good to tell you what my previous goggle is, or the goggle that I have been using thus far. Alright, V2 Quanum Goggle. That's the goggle I have been using thus far, with a diversity receiver, also from Quanum. As you can probably tell, this Genesis is substantially longer. It isn't very heavy though, it isn't heavier than this setup. Yeah, and another major difference between these setups is how clean the Quanum Genesis is. You only have the one cable to power it. This has cables running all over the place, and if you add a DVR to this setup, it would be more of a mess still. Now, one other thing I noticed so far is that I really have to use my glasses in this goggle, but in this goggle I have not needed my glasses at all. Yeah, like I mentioned before, I was planning to do some surgery on the Genesis goggle to fit glasses in them. But I don't even need my glasses in it. And I have a 1.5 subscription, plus 1.5, so I'm nearsighted. And I was very surprised to see that this works out without glasses for me. I don't know how that is possible, maybe because of the length, or probably the optics are just better. Of better quality, and maybe the screen is more focused and more detailed. I'm obviously very happy that I don't need my glasses in this goggle. And let me now try and show you what the screen looks like in this new Genesis goggle. Alright, I've got a video source set up. And I've got one of my SJ cams fitted into the goggle, and obviously it's close to impossible to give you a real impression of what it looks like to me. So I'll just have to tell you, as you might be able to see, the lens in this goggle is completely different from the other Quanum goggles. It is not a single magnification lens. It is basically two lenses meshed together, so one for each eye. And I've got the camera centered up in the goggle, so this is what it would look like if you had one eye in the middle of your face. And now I'll try and move it to the position of one eye, like so. Yeah, basically, I hope that's visible, I just don't know, but you don't see that the lens has two parts to it when you use the goggle. And that two lens setup might be the reason, or one of the reasons, that I don't need glasses in this goggle. Basically probably a better designed focal system in this goggle. So that is basically my first look at the goggle. Now let's go over a few tips that I would have for Quanum and Fatshark, for maybe a second version of this goggle. Okay, some tips for Hobby King / Fatshark. Now the first one is not for a second version, but for the current version. I think they should make it available in the regional warehouses. I think most viewers will agree with me on that. And let's see, the second one is more a aesthetic tip. This plastic over here and this plastic on the sides, I think it would look a lot better if it wouldn't be as glossy as it is. It looks a bit plasticky. It is plastic, of course, but if they would apply a matte finish or a matte kind of plastic, it would look a lot better, more expensive, so to speak. And the third one is also an aesthetic tip. It could look a lot cleaner, in my opinion, if this cable wasn't running alongside and over top of the goggle. Yeah, I'm not the product designer, that's not my job, I'm a reviewer, so I'll leave it up to Hobby King / Fatshark to figure out how to do that. Maybe have the jack for the power over here. Yeah, they'll just have to figure that out themselves, but it could look a lot cleaner without this cable hanging off to the side, in my opinion, of course. Okay, then the elephant in the room. No DVR in this goggle. Yeah, I am not really sure how many people actually need a DVR. For me as a reviewer, it is very handy to have a DVR. So yes, I would really have liked a DVR in this goggle. Once again, I don't know if a lot of customers really need a DVR, or if it's just a nice to have. Do keep in mind that adding any feature to a product will increase its cost. So yeah, it's not an inexpensive goggle at all, even though it's far less expensive than other Fatshark goggles. Well, I'll leave it up to the commerce people if that's a feature needed in a version 2 of this goggle. Once again, I would really like to see a DVR in this goggle, or in the next version of this goggle. Okay, then some tips on option parts. I think it would be nice to be able to buy the foam or neoprene faceplate part over here as an option. Those wear out after a while, so it would be very nice to be able to buy those separately. Maybe they will become available in the near future, I don't know, but once again, it would be very nice to have that option. And the second option part I would like to see is a protective sleeve of some kind for transport. Yes, they do provide you with that box. But if you want to take this goggle backpacking, the box is just a little big or high to take the goggle in with you in a backpack. So some kind of protective sleeve to protect the foam, to keep it looking nice, would be nice as an option part, in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of people mention that it would be nice to be able to buy this goggle without the battery. I agree, that would decrease the shipping costs. So I'm not sure if that's an option for Fatshark. Fatshark ships all their goggles, I think, with a battery, so that might just be a policy. So I don't know if that is in the cards, so to speak. And oh yeah, it would have been very nice to have Quanum decals with the goggle as well. I think not important at all, of course, but it would have been nice. Now you might have noticed that I didn't mention any improvements on the optics or electronics, and that is simply because I am very happy with those. Yeah, oh, it would have been nice to have a knob for the band selection, so you don't have to cycle through all channels. yeah, that would definitely have been an upgrade. And that's it really. That's my initial impression and some tips on this Fatshark Quanum Genesis Goggle. And yeah, if you have input for me, once again I will be flying a lot with this goggle in the near future and then come back to you with my final review of it. If you have any kind of input for me to consider while doing that, don't hesitate to comment down below. And hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye!